Good morning, Jackson, Mississippi, and all surrounding areas. You've tuned in to the free-range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It starts now. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards. We are broadcasting live in the Dustin Bailey at Southern Magnolias Realty Studio out here at the lovely Cotton Exchange Plaza in Flora, Mississippi. We're streaming worldwide in video, in living color, at Save Jackson on Facebook. That's Save JXN. We are on 103.9 FM on the radio dial, and we are also streaming worldwide at WYAB.com and on the TuneIn app. Just go search WYAB, and the podcast will be made available as soon as the show is over. Give me about 30 minutes from the time I go off air, and we're here, and we're there. So if you miss anything, you can always go back and listen to it. There's over 400 episodes up there. We did a podcast last night from the house. Maybe you missed it. It is now available on the audio and video format. Me and Steven Utroska, who's been filling in for Mike Madison here at the station. He came over to the house. We did a long form podcast, about 2 hours. My dogs never misbehave, but they were misbehaving last night. My dryer was buzzing to let me know that something I should have waited to dry was dry. And about halfway through, I could no longer hold it. I had to use the restroom. So it was just a very professional podcast on my end. But that's life when you do stuff from home. You're going to have home stuff interfere every now and then. But anyway, long story short, it was a really good podcast. Steven's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to Mississippi politics and what's going on down at the Capitol. So if you're interested in that type stuff, tune in from 9 to 11 when he's filling in for Mike. And I do believe he'll be doing that again today unless somebody else is doing it. And check out the podcast. All right. Right as that ended last night, about 9:30, somewhere in there, close to 10, I get some breaking news that there was a mass shooting of sorts in Greenville, Mississippi. Now, you know, when you get information secondhand, sometimes, the details can be a little sketchy. But initial reports were that 3 people were dead and 9 had been shot across 2 different scenes in Greenville. And that one of the people that had been shot was a law enforcement officer, as well as the suspect. They still have not released the amount of people who actually got shot. I've checked for updates this morning, still no updates. I'm sure that as soon as I get off the air, they will have their official update. But we know that the law enforcement officer has passed away. Greenville Police Department detective has passed away. And that's sad. I still don't know her name. I do have a picture of the officer. I've shared it on the Save Jackson page with the Greenville Police badge with the black stripe over it, or blue stripe. And man, just really sad. We jumped back on and did another live last night, trying to kind of cover it in live time. But being on the other part of the state in a rural Delta area like that, details were limited at best. And so our condolences this morning. You know, that's why we support law enforcement like I do here. You know, and I would say that most of the guys at this station, all the guys at this station, as far as I know, you know, we have a healthy respect for law enforcement and what they do. And that's why I always like hashtag good guys win again. Good guys didn't win last night. They will in the long run. They always do. Good beats evil all the time. All the time. It always will. No matter what's going on, good will overcome evil. Let's see here. Somebody did text in her name. It is Detective Maisha Story. So thank you for that update there. The local news channels, not Facebook, but their websites. Maybe I just missed over it. But all right, so there's that. And just really sad situation. But again, that's why we support law enforcement like we do. Anytime that they leave the house, it could be their last time. And everybody can say that every time they leave the house. You could end up in a car accident, get killed at a Jackson gas station, or anything. So I understand the value of life, but when what you do as a first responder, you can also die while you're at work, whether it's law enforcement, fire, EMT, military, anything like that. So, again, our condolences and prayers go out to all the law enforcement here in Mississippi and to the family of the Greenville police officer who got shot. If you guys want to chime in on that after this first segment, the Mac Hike of Flowwood phone line is 601-879-0002. The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. Look, now, this kind of snuck in under the radar yesterday. I'm still trying to figure out why this isn't a bigger story, and maybe we just don't care anymore. Maybe that's it. Maybe we just don't care. But Jackson went from 100 homicides to 105 overnight. There were 5 homicides in 5 days that went unreported. WAPT is reporting it's 105. WLBT has updated their number to 101. I'm going to go with the 105. I'm going to believe that. So and look, man, this ain't just your typical dope boy magic here homicides. There's 5 homicides, 2 of which were women. One, Carrie Fleming, 27 years old. I believe she was a nurse of some sort at UMMC, according to her Facebook page. 27-year-old Carrie Fleming was walking right before 10 p.m. Monday in the parking lot of Serenity Apartments on Hospital Drive when a man approached her with a weapon, police said. Fleming was killed at the door of her apartment. Her attacker is also suspected of carjacking another person at the apartment complex, then wrecking the vehicle after hitting a parked vehicle, according to police. And they also suspect, I saw on the news this morning, that he also robbed a Walgreens. So this guy was on a roll. Then Michael Cook, age unavailable, was found about 7 p.m. Monday on the 1200 block of Marydale Street. Witnesses said Cook was lying in the middle of the street when he was found shot by someone who drove by in a vehicle. Let's see here. Now, here's one. This hasn't even made the news yet. This should be not even a push notification from WLBT. They love stirring the pot. And I'm not knocking WLBT. I get a lot of my content from them. This is sad. Aaliyah Parker, 25, was 12 weeks pregnant when she was shot and killed at about 1:20 a.m. Sunday morning. Jackson police officials said an assailant knocked on the door of a Cox Street home. When a man came to the door, the attacker began firing shots, striking the man several times, along with Parker, who was inside. Parker was taken to the University of Mississippi Medical Center, where she and her unborn baby died. Police said the man survived. The shooter, guess what, got away. Let's see. Then Christopher Rogers, 37, died Saturday afternoon after a shooting in the 600 block of Magnolia Street. Police said some men pulled up in a vehicle around 2:15 p.m. and shot someone in the leg. Rogers was at the home doing some work around the house when the men pulled up and shot at him while he was outside, police said. Rogers died at the hospital. And here, another one. Leonard White, 22, was walking home at about 4:35 p.m. Thursday on Alamo Street when someone in a Honda approached him and fired shots. White died after he was shot multiple times. Now, hold on. Let's go back here and do some math. Leonard White, there's 1. Christopher Rogers, there's 2. Aaliyah Parker plus her unborn makes 4. Michael Cook makes 5, and Carrie Fleming makes 6. So I guess WAPT doesn't recognize unborn children as humans. I'm pretty sure we want a case, little Dobbs versus the United States that says unborn or alive or count as humans. You know, we went through this with another one last year. I can't remember if it was a drinking and driving or if it was one of these situations. It was one of these shooting situations. Now, if you're drunk and you hit somebody in a car and they're pregnant and they both die, you get charged with 2 deaths. Why do we not count the death of the unborn child as a homicide? Well, we do at the Clay Edwards Show. So back to the drawing board here. We have 106 homicides. There were 6 homicides in 5 days in Jackson, Mississippi. We are now at 106. Let's go back to the WLBT murder map here. So for some perspective, we like to have perspective here. On this day in history, last year, which was the deadliest on record at 153 homicides in the year, on October 12th, we were sitting at 115 homicides. We're catching up to the deadliest year on record. We're catching up. This, I'm going to say it constantly. This city is possessed by a demonic force. And you know what the churches in Jackson are doing? Building basketball courts. Building basketball courts. Further pushing the stereotype that if you're young and black, you got to be able to play ball to get out of the ghetto. Oh, man. All right, let's take a break here. This is the Clay Edwards Show. When we get back, phone line's wide open. Mac Hike and Flowwood phone line, 601-879-0002. Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. We'll be right back. Breaking rules when necessary. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. This segment is going to be brought to you by Keith's Lock and Key. That's right, man. Family owned and operated right here in central Mississippi since the early 80s. With a combined experience of nearly 50 years, Keith's Lock and Key is here for all your residential and commercial locksmith needs. My buddy Brad Grammer and his crew took it over from his dad when he passed away a few months back last year. I can't remember exactly when, but Brad's great. I went to high school with Brad. I've known him for almost 30 years now. Gosh, it seems so weird saying that you've known somebody for 30 years. Now I know what my dad and mom feel like when they tell them stories. Well, I don't go way back with them. Anyway, look, man, I've told the story a couple times. Had some locksmith needs at my house. They came out and they changed all my locks twice in 1 week. And we're in and out in less than 30 minutes at my house. Very affordable. I know every house is different. I don't want to get into talking money, but I highly recommend them. They don't do the social media stuff. They don't have the website. They're old school, just the way I like it. I know that sounds funny as much as it's plugged into social media as I am. But when you call, you get the owner's cell phone. You can text him too if you prefer. Brad Grammer is his name. It's Keith's Lock and Key. I'm about to give you his cell phone number. I want you to lock it in, write it down, lock it in. Because nobody ever thinks they're going to need a locksmith. You know, I guess there's a rare occasion where you may. You know you're going to change the lock somewhere. But typically, it's because you got yourself into a situation. The phone number is 601-278-1459. 601-278-1459. They're mobile and they're statewide. They don't do automobiles. This is for homes and business and safes. You got a safe you need in, holler at Keith's Lock and Key. All right, back to the show here. We've got some text in this morning. Somebody had texted in, speaking of Keith's Lock and Key, Keith texted in and says that you may have already addressed this on the show, but have you stopped posting the show to YouTube? Just haven't seen any of the newer shows on there lately. I was put in a YouTube jail for 2 weeks. They're going back and they're giving retro strikes for old content that may have said something about the election. You know, I don't have the patience to go back and listen to all of it. They took it down. I lost the appeal. I don't care at this point. So I've been posting to a backup YouTube channel. Just go search Clay Edwards Show. It is the one with my logo. The picture is my logo, not my face. And you can hit subscribe there. And I have been posting there. And like the live show we did last night also went to YouTube. So I'm not a fan, but I understand that's where a lot of people consume content. So I don't mind posting it wherever you guys are. I will take my product to the people. I don't feel like you should have to go just where I want to post stuff. If you want to watch it on YouTube, I will do my best to get it on YouTube for you. And that's where I started at with all of it anyway. I just hate their Marxist, communist, 1984 dictatorship censorship policies. All right, look, let's go to the phone call here on the Matt Kike of Flowwood phone line. I believe this may be Miss Sylvia. Hey, you're on there?
Yes. Yes, it is, Miss Sylvia. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, real quick, I want to make a correction. The officer's name was Maisha Stewart that was killed last night. I got the last name wrong. Somebody sent in a typo, and they corrected it. Anyway, Maisha Stewart is the detective up there in Greenville who passed away last night. All right, Miss Sylvia, the floor is yours.
Well, I will say the following. Father God, I pray for them in the midst of their grief and help them to not get over, but through this grief. In Jesus' name, amen. But what I called in about was when you mentioned that the only way a person can get out of the what was the ghetto when I was a child, is a scholarship or playing ball or whatever. There are other ways of getting out of the ghetto. Yes, you can get
I
a scholarship
agree.
and go play. Yes, you can get a scholarship and play football, basketball, whatever you want to play. But there's also going into the military. It's nothing wrong with serving your country. As a matter of fact, when you are in the military, you appreciate your country that much more than what you did prior to going in. But I come from a very family, so I served, and I'm thankful that I served, and I think I'm a better person because of serving. Plus Jesus Christ being in my life. But anyway, and then the other thing is just go to your local job, go to work, save your money, find out what you want to do, and move to a better neighborhood.
Amen.
So that's all I wanted to say, was that there are ways to getting out that's not just playing ball. You can also go to college and get your degree and find whatever it is that Lord wants you to do or what you feel that you're best at. That'll get you out of the ghetto as well.
Well, you would also think with all these folks in Jackson that think rapping is the way out, I can think of you can name on one hand, and you can probably one finger how many successful rappers are really out of Jackson, Mississippi. I'd be looking at the success rate if I thought rapping was going to be my way out, and realize real quick that it's probably not.
Not only that, many rappers are very vulgar and filthy. Vulgar and filthy are the same thing with their music. I don't like how they call women. I don't like the N-word being used all the time because you see young folks running around saying these things, and I don't like how folks dance either, or dress for that matter, these folks who deal in that world. We have youngins that are gyrating and mess and looking like hoochie mamas, as Kim would say. But I'm not trying to be judgmental, but I do wish that there were other examples for them. I went to school. I grew up in the ghetto. Ghetto was not in my home, though. My mom wasn't going to have it. And I have my degree, and I got out of the ghetto. I don't currently live in the ghetto right now, and I hope that, which I consider Jackson, I hope that the Lord never humbles me enough to have to live there. And I don't mind working, but I get to get out. That was all I wanted to say. You have a great day.
You too, Sylvia. Thank you. Yeah, kind of circling back to my comment about about the basketball and the stereotype that it instills is that, if you grow up in these urban communities, that the only way out is playing basketball, football, or rapping. And the success, the likelihood of that being your way out is so minuscule that I'm amazed at the amount of resources that are put into trying to help people achieve a dream that's so unlikely. You know what I mean? That, the basketball courts will help keep kids off the streets. And I have no problem with that. Again, I'm just saying, how about some counselors, some people to help these kids with school, with resources to learn how to do a job interview, how to dress, how to make eye contact with people. All these things. It just, for whatever reason, it's always straight to basketball, sports, and rapping. I mean, there's one rapper out of Mississippi, really, well, out of Jackson, David Banner, that's really made it. I know there's a couple others here that made a little noise here, a little noise there. But at the end of the day, to the best of my knowledge, the only one that ain't got a day job is David Banner. You know, his sidekick Kamikaze, he didn't make it. You know, he had a little success. There's that new guy that's from around here, the Gullah Gullah guy. Gullah, whatever it is. You know, but at the end of the day, you know, Big Crit, he ain't from Jackson. You know, it's not a way out. That would be like me thinking that I'm going to be a national radio guy and I'm going to make millions of dollars doing radio. It probably ain't going to happen. It's why I still do other stuff when I leave here. Anyway, we got a call on the Matt Kike Flowwood phone line. Hey, you're on there.
Hey, Clay, I want to say I'm praying for that girl's family over in Greenville. And
Absolutely.
Another thing, we got midterms coming in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. People need to get out and vote.
Oh yeah, get out and vote. Make sure you're registered to vote. I mean, it's too late. It's too late to get registered to vote for the midterms. But if you're not registered, if you moved,
I think they can do it after, can't they?
Well, no, I don't know. If you moved and you're not registered, you can't vote. Well, maybe that's local. I don't know. We'll find out. Just make sure you're registered.
Because if we don't win this with this president's track record, and with the economy being the way that it is, and inflation being the way that it is, and crime being the way that it is, then they done stole another one.
Oh yeah, I mean it's going to be very interesting to see. I mean, these midterms will determine the future course of this country. If we don't get back one arm of the government in these midterms, it's over. It may be over anyway.
And, well, we need to get them. We need to get both, because if not, Biden will stack the courts.
Yep.
That's what I'm scared of.
Oh yeah, I mean he's going to sink the ship on his way out.
I mean, yeah, and you know the thing about it, I don't care who you are, if you were rich or you put aside them stealing the election. Everybody was better off. If you're black, if you're white, if you're gay, straight, rich or poor, we were all better off under Donald Trump.
Huh. God, yes. I mean, we were better off under Obama, but this is the direction he wanted to take the country. So we're getting that third Obama term.
Now, Obama was a lot smarter than Biden. He wasn't nowhere near this stupid.
I don't know. I think he's the one pulling the strings in the back, so I'm going to give him credit for this.
I don't think so. I really don't, man, because, you know, I met a guy that had, I'm not going to say who he is, but he's known Biden for 47 years, he told me. And I asked him one day, I said, is Joe Biden all there? He said, absolutely not. He said, he ain't playing with a full deck of cards. He said, if you notice in his administration, everybody that's around him is not anybody that's been with him any length of time.
Well, they're all sexual deviants. Every person in his administration is some kind of LGBTQ drag queen. It's not normal to be a transvestite. They can normalize it all they want, but it tells me that he's a terrible decision maker, putting terrible decision makers in positions of power.
Yeah, Biden had enough. Biden was smart enough. He put some good people around him.
Who?
Okay, that was Biden. Obama.
Okay.
Obama. Obama dug us out of a mess in 08. I haven't forgot that. He deserves credit for that.
Yeah. All right, brother. Appreciate it. Let's take one more call before the break here on the Matt Kike Flowwood phone line. Good morning, caller. You're on there.
Hey, buddy. What's going on this morning?
Oh, man. Another day in paradise.
Hey, I wanted to follow up on who's probably really running everything. It's World Economic Forum and the UN. If you go on both their sites, they're going to fast forward the central bank currency, digital currency, and everything. So I would look into.
Well, Obama sent us down this road of being a one world government and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, they're all pawns. I mean, the governments are run by all these bigger people and all the money. You know what I mean? They put these people into office just as puppets. You know what I mean? If you don't do it, we'll find somebody else that will. You know what I mean?
Exactly, brother.
All right, you have a good day.
Hey, you too, man. All right. Just got a text in from a listener that says, y'all stay mad on your show. Well, yeah, we're mad. We wouldn't have nothing to talk about if it was good times. All right, man, let's take a break here. A bunch of good texts coming in. I'm going to read y'all's text on the Guns and Gear text line when we come back. This is the Clay Edwards Show on 103.9 WYAB. Breaking rules when necessary. Hey, man, getting some weather updates out there. Apparently it is raining in Rankin County this morning. I did see it on the news that it may be some bad weather today, but I'm just going to be honest. I didn't believe them. It's been so long since it rained that I was like, nah, they're just making that up. Because we went through the latter half of the summer there. What was it, August? That it rained every day, almost. I mean, they were talking about it being a drought out in California and all these other places. I'm like, not in the SIP. It has rained every day here. All right, man. This segment is going to be brought to you by our friends out at Boondocks Firearms Training Academy. I'm wearing my Boondocks shirt right now for those with the benefit of flash photography, which that sounds ridiculous. There's nobody with a camera in here, but if there were, they could see this. Get out there, man. They've got some great new membership packages available to go out there and use the course and the facilities as much as you want, unlimited. And starting at very reasonable prices. Go to boondocksfta.com. If you get the second level up on the memberships, I want to say it's like $40 a month. You'll need to go confirm that on the website. You get once a year, you get a free training course, and those value at $200. And you also can use that package to get, if you order a gun online somewhere, you know how you typically have to pay the fee to get somebody with a license to do the sale for you. You can use that service unlimited times out there. So worth looking into. Check out boondocksfta.com. Chad and the team out there with an amazing facility. Had them here on the show recently. I really enjoyed talking with them. I'm going to have them back here again soon. That's Boondocks FTA, the Mississippi's premier firearms training academy. All right, back to the text line. Kevin just texted in as soon as I picked this up, and I meant to write this down and talk about it. Kevin asked on the Guns and Gear text line, is JSU getting a new stadium? Well, apparently the city council had the audacity to pass a resolution yesterday, and I don't know if it's even does anything. I don't necessarily understand exactly how a resolution works, but they're saying that Primetime Dion has done such a good job that we should give JSU a new stadium, and they're going to work towards getting it here. I'm pulling the story up, see if I can find it here. Here it goes here. Let me read this to y'all real quick. Members of the Jackson City Council agree not only is Coach Prime SWAC, but he's also a blessing to the capital city and to Jackson State University. On Tuesday, the city council unanimously approved a resolution backing the construction of a new football stadium for the college. A move, they say, could help keep Deion Sanders in the capital city. Now, what all that means, I have no clue. I guess they're going to try to get the money. They're not going to get the money. Let me just tell you, the state is not about to give Jackson the money for a new football stadium when they can't even get their garbage picked up without the drama of dang near losing the garbage pickup service. Obviously, the water situation is a complete debacle. The state had to step in and correct. You're sitting at 106 homicides, 6 in the last 5 days, including one pregnant woman, 6 months pregnant. Come on. Or 12 weeks pregnant, I'm sorry. Jackson ain't getting a new stadium. I'm not even saying that JSU doesn't deserve one. I think they do. I think JSU should have a new football stadium. I think that land where the current stadium is at is better served being consumed by the medical facilities over there. I really do. It would probably in short order pay for itself to get JSU, to get that stadium torn down and be used for some type of development. I 100% don't disagree with that at all. I'm just saying right now the state ain't paying for JSU a new stadium. JSU going to have to do like the other schools do, raise the money, and then build the stadium. That's just the way it works. You're also going to have to pack it out for more than 2 years. When State and Ole Miss, for example, when they do stadium upgrades, they do it from raising the money, selling out the stadium for an extended amount of time. I mean, I don't think the entire time Jackie Sherrill was at Mississippi State, I don't know that they did a single upgrade to Davis Wade. Now, somebody may correct me on that, but and frankly, stadiums are downsizing now. You know, JSU don't need a 60,000 seat stadium. I'm not even saying they should have to sell out 60,000 seats constantly, but they're going to have to raise money for a longer amount of time. And I see Thomas is calling, and Thomas is banned from the show after his comments the other day. I blocked him on the Guns in Gear text line, and we will not be taking Thomas's calls on the show. He crossed the line that we're not going to allow him back on the show for the foreseeable future anyway. So if he's listening right now, Thomas, you're wasting your time. Let's see here. To the Guns and Gear text line. Kevin, I hope that answered your question about the stadium. All right. Somebody says Bush started the whole New World Order stuff. Yeah, Bush Sr. started the whole New World Order stuff. Yeah, I mean, look, man, I tell you what, as we've gotten older, hindsight's 20/20 on the Bushes, isn't it? I mean, you got both Bushes, the Clintons, and Obama. I mean, Frank, let's just say it. Trump's the only good president since Reagan. The rest of them have been pushing this New World Order agenda, nonsense, all that. So, let's see here. Most kids want to be drug dealers in Jackson. I don't think they want to be. I think they are. A lot of kids in Jackson are drug dealers. John from Florence says, just some screenshots there. I can't read those. Sorry. I know that made for terrible radio. All right. We're pretty caught up on, no, we're not caught up on text. Unknown texter says, so the mayor of Jackson is a complete dumpster fire, but the more things unfold, I think the city council is just as much to blame for the condition of Jackson. Yeah. You know, it's like you think, I hate saying on the radio, but sometimes I want to say a cuss word, and it's better than saying a cuss word. I just have to take a deep breath for a second. Say, when they pass these resolutions of memorandums and they're all unanimous to try to get the funding for a stadium in a city that can't even keep its water on because of mismanagement of funds. I would be so embarrassed. Just the lack of self-awareness. I would be so embarrassed to even try to bring up JSU needing a stadium. It's like, Primetime got into an argument with somebody. We got to let them know we got his back. Look, man, nothing y'all going to do is going to keep Primetime out of giving him some type of ownership into the team. You know, I hope he stays. I think it's great for Jackson. I know y'all think I just hate everything about Jackson. I don't. I pull for Jackson. I pull for Jackson State. I actively pull for Jackson State. I love what Primetime's doing. You ain't gonna bait me into saying nothing negative about it. I dig it. I do. Big fan. But JSU ain't getting a new stadium right now. Jackson, when was the last time Jackson built a new high school? Forest Hill, 88, 89. The last time Jackson built a new high school. Can't even fund the police department properly. Don't pay your police officers. You talking about building JSU a new stadium? Bro, you got so much other stuff to figure out first. And me and Steven Yatroska were talking about this last night on the podcast. And I've said it till I'm blue in the face up here. But it was nice to hear somebody as plugged in as Steven acknowledge this. What can Jackson politicians hang their hat on as being successful? Like one thing, say, we're terrible at this, but man, we really excel at this. And the only thing they excel at is going down the list of things that aren't broken and breaking them. It's like, all right, well, the garbage seems to be going good. I know how to screw that up. The water, that seems all right. I mean, it needs some updates, but what if we just mismanage the plant so bad that it just quits working? Oh, that's a good idea. Check. The education, the school, Jackson students get more funding per head than any other school district in the state. Oh, let's screw that up too. Check. Now I think Thomas is calling in from a private number. That ain't going to work, Hoss. I'm smarter than your average bear. Oh, let's see here, man. Back to the Guns and Gear text line. Reagan says, thank you for banning Thomas. There should be a punishment for hitting below the belt. Standards are very important for talk radio shows. Discourse is fine. There has to be parameters, and as long as they're equally applied. Yeah, look, man, I will go back and forth and round with anybody. I enjoy it. I enjoy discourse. Believe it or not, y'all may not find this true. I like arguing with people. Life hack about Clay there. I enjoy arguing. And, and occasionally out of those arguments, somebody is actually, somebody changes their mind. It's like, oh, you know what? Well, I didn't think of it like that. And arguing ain't a bad thing. Debating. Maybe debating is the better way to say it, not arguing. Debate is healthy. Discourse is healthy. You need healthy discourse, especially in a political realm. I enjoy it. But when you hit below when you drag people's families into it because you're mad, we ain't going to do that. We ain't going to do that. I don't do that with these janky politicians in Jackson or anywhere else. Now, I do it with Hunter Biden because Hunter Biden's a trash bag and is making millions of dollars because of his father's influence and position at the detriment of Americans. We are suffering so Hunter Biden can profit. And Hunter Biden's a 50-year-old man. He ain't some kid. So the media quit acting like Hunter Biden's a child. All right, let's take our last break of the day. This is the Clay Edwards Show on 103.9 WYAB. You know it. Breaking rules when necessary. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. This last segment of the day. How about it be brought to you by our good friends out there at Guns and Gear, the home of No Limit Ammo right there in Gluckstadt. Shop them online 24 hours a day. GunsandGearMS.com. But there's so much more than just a gun store, and there's so much more than just No Limit Ammo. They have gunsmithing, Cerakoting, and anything else you can need with the firearm. They got you covered. Hunter and his team on top of it out there. All right, man. Let's close out the show today with a couple of texts. You guys have been on it on the text line today. I just wanted to, all week, always. The text line has been one of my better ideas, and I really appreciate y'all. I do. I don't get to read them all the time, but the texters, y'all have eliminated so much of my time at night because I don't have to do nearly as much show prep now because of the texting. And I'm not even saying that to sound facetious. Y'all really have. Y'all bring such good stuff every day. Love it. Let's see here. Keith says, this is a quote by Mark Twain that applies to Thomas. Never argue with stupid people. They will drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. Touche, my friends. Touche. Rick says, trade schools. There are so many businesses looking for good workers, not just hands. That's probably going to be the last text today. Thank y'all. Trade school is such a great thing. We're wasting money on basketball courts, which, look, great. Basketball courts, indoors, keep kids. I get it. I ain't hating on it. But it just feels like there's so many more things you could do with the money. Trade schools for these kids, man. We need welders. We need mechanics. We need oil changers. We need all that stuff. Electricians. HVAC. See you tomorrow.
Thanks for listening. Tune in tomorrow at 7 a.m. as the Clay Edwards Show discusses all that is going on in and around the city of Jackson.
This concludes our broadcast day.
Right here on 103.9 WYAB.